in my courses, I think I mostly use some open source ebooks that are available online, like the one that I'm working on. And the reason that I know it's because it's related with the Python and I know the author, so that's I know like the producers of those resources, and that's I think one of the criteria that I like. So like who created that source, so how much I can depend is also related with like the where that information is coming from. But I think when they want to learn a new subject, I think students might be prone to anything. So I think any level of expertise. So sometimes when we have a certain level of expertise, it might be too much for the beginners. So if they, let's say, enjoy watching a YouTube video or just following a Twitter account to get some basic information, they're also open resources for me. Like they are sharing a lot of good content. And if it helps them to enjoy the material, or if it makes them feel more comfortable to just start this subject, I think that's also a good way them to just initiate that. I think love of GIS. I think that's also important. But yeah, I mean, especially if I'm just putting on my syllabus, if it's in the listed as a resource, I would look for an institution or just some dependent scholars and behind.
I think one evaluation process I definitely do is just like, is this helping me? You know, am I learning something from this? So it's just sort of like, you know, am I getting something out of this? So I think that's a very just an easy way to kind of assess. But then in terms of going back, of course, kind of, taking that step back and thinking about, sort of the authority of the, whatever the resource is, and kind of vetting it more from like a librarian sort of perspective, maybe, and not just sort of like, is this helping me accomplish XYZ task, kind of really thinking about who are the people behind it, what are maybe their intentions for having this resource out here, how often is it getting updated, how is that being communicated to us, and then also really seeing how the community is using it and kind of talking about it and all those sorts of things. So that's sort of the bigger picture.
I usually am looking for just as clear provenance as possible. And I mean that like in a really extra way. It's for me, it's like really not enough just to see like this was uploaded by this person. Like I really want to, especially if it's like when we're getting into data resources, I really want to be able to like have an understanding of like where things came from. And if there's not information about that, I'm looking for like statements from whoever is writing about it, about, kind of contextualizing that. So I think like, we're librarians, like we really care about source and authority and all that type of thing. So, I mean, I think that's kind of like a no-brainer, but I think it is especially important for GIS because, your function in the software won't work, and then you get like a new file and you delete that one, and it can get really messy really quickly, and you're just like, so I'm just kind of talking about like in GIS, I think there's an extra amount of like things that are derivatives of one another, and the provenance starts to get really messy and unwieldy really quickly. And so I think my eye is always really like attuned to that when I'm working with patrons, where often in time crunches, people are just looking for things that are there. So kind of trying to help, so if you're trying to design a system that has that, ways that, I think like that's one of the values of librarians is like we're sort of like the mediators between the stuff and the people. So any way that you can try to build that into the systems in a way that it like either helps us do that job better or helps the researchers themselves.